This video is brought to you by Oddly Pacific Tees, the home of the most Oddly Pacific t-shirts on the net. Use code OddlySean for 15% off your entire order.
I'm Chris Waters. Two Bohemia Interactive developers, the makers of the popular military sim series ARMA, have been arrested on the Greek Isle of Lemnos for spying.
Hey, Damon Hatfield here with IGN News. The Greek government has arrested two employees of ARMA developer Bohemia Interactive.
And last up in news today, two ARMA developers have been arrested for espionage. I'm not kidding.
Bohemia Interactive is a development studio based in the Czech Republic. They are known for games like DayZ, Pat and Matt, and of course, the ARMA series. ARMA is a series of first and third person military tactical shooters centering around realistic depictions of modern warfare. The latest in the series, ARMA 3, is set in the 2030s, in a fictional country of the Republic of Atlas and Stratus. During its development, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in the video games industry happened. It's a story of two developers holidaying in Greece and ending up in prison for it. This is the story of Martin Pezlar and Ivan Buchta. On September 10, 2012, Bohemia Interactive CEO Marek Spanel posted to the Bohemia Interactive forums with the following headline: "Colleagues detained in Greece." The post read as follows.
My colleagues and I were shocked when we found out about the detention of our co-workers and friends, Martin Pezlar and Ivan Buchta, on the Greek island of Lemnos. Everybody who knows them realizes that they're not spies and certainly never intended to threaten Greek national security. The guys visited the island as tourists. Their trip to Lemnos was personal, organized via travel agent, with the single goal of experiencing the place that had inspired the virtual environments of ARMA 3, a computer game that they've been working on over the past 2 years. Our company has never gathered or collected any restricted information, such as photos or blueprints of military installations of any nation, nor have we ever tasked anybody else to do it on our behalf. We always respect the law, and we develop all of our products using publicly available materials only. ARMA 3 is no exception.
Martin Pezlar and Ivan Buchta boarded a flight from the Czech Republic to Greece for a lovely sightseeing holiday. The reason? Well, the game they were working on was based on the island of Lemnos. And what better way to immerse yourself in your work than to immerse yourself in the source material itself? This isn't unusual, I might add. I can totally understand wanting to see the real place after recreating the island for the game they spent countless hours working on. You often see that with us gremlins who spend way too much time in Football Manager. There are countless stories of lads becoming obsessed with the 4th Division Finnish team they decided to manage in-game that they take off to cheer the team in real life. So, this isn't much different. The island of Lemnos is known for its stunning beaches, amazing landscapes, and military facilities. And that's important to mention. What's also important to mention is that the holiday the two embarked on was strictly pleasure. The two wanted to bask in the culture and landscapes the island had to offer. They were not there on any sort of recon mission for ARMA. And the pair weren't gone long when news emerged that two Czech citizens had been arrested on charges of alleged spying and espionage. But why? How did this happen? What could the pair have done that allowed the Greek government to arrest these two on some James Bond shit? Well, remember those military facilities I mentioned before? Initial reports claim that the pair were in Greece on official business, recording footage for said military facilities for ARMA 3's development when they were caught and arrested. And look, I can imagine you're thinking, what's the big deal? It's only a few photos and videos. And I'd agree. This is something that can be seen from Google Earth, so why is it that this is taking it too far? Well, Greece seems to hold its military secrets in a very high priority. They were paranoid about becoming weak to an attack as tensions between them and Turkey were starting to boil over again. These two countries can't seem to keep away from each other's throats, even today. This wasn't the first time something like this had happened either. In November 2001, 24 plane spotters were arrested by Greek police after being observed at an open day at the Greek Air Force Base in Kalamata. They were also charged with espionage, and not only that, they were also found guilty, with 8 of the plane spotters sentenced to 3 years in prison. They were all subsequently acquitted a year later at their appeal. So, our two boys were not looking too good here. These weren't just some plane spotters looking at some wonderful planes. These guys were filming and photographing military bases and facilities, a lot more suspicious than anything those pesky aircraft observers did. As news media rushed to get the story out, Bohemia Interactive CEO Marek Spanel released statements that read,
"We can confirm the 2 Bohemia Interactive employees, our colleagues and friends, were arrested during their holiday trip to Lemnos. They visited the island with the sole purpose of experiencing the island's beautiful surroundings. We sincerely hope that this is an unfortunate misunderstanding of their passion as artists and creators of virtual worlds."
On September 17, 2012, the pair released a joint statement maintaining their innocence. "The conditions are tough, but the people we meet treat us fairly and correctly. It is all a completely absurd misunderstanding that will certainly be quickly explained. We mainly think of you, our families. You have to stay calm and not worry about us. We hope we will meet soon." A spokesperson for Bohemia Interactive stated that the allegations against the two are unwarranted, despite the Greek authorities maintaining the pair were taking photographs of military installations.
Having traveled there, and after meeting personally with them both, as well as their lawyer who is fully acquainted with the Greek authorities' investigation file in detail, we can assure you that these insinuations are completely false and without substance. Their holiday was a product of their interest in the island, triggered by their work on ARMA 3 over the past 2 years of development. They took photographs and videos in public areas, as countless tourists arriving to enjoy the beauty and hospitality of Greece may well do. These included a short video as they drove through the main road passing around the international airport, where in one short part of the video off in the distance some hangars and other buildings of the complex can be seen. It's very likely that many tourists may have pictures similar to those taken by Ivan and Martin in their own family albums, without being aware that they put themselves or their families at risk. It is not necessary to photograph military installations on Lemnos, as RMA 3's interpretation, set in the future, will be much different. The in-game Lemnos is close to completion, and it's far from an identical replication of the real place. It was heavily modified to fit the game's backstory, a purely fictional 2035 setting. It was rescaled to only 75% of the real island, and it does not attempt to display any real-world military installations situated on the island. To summarize the situation, they visited Lemnos on their holiday as tourists. They did not enter any military area. They did not take any pictures of any military objects to be used in ARMA 3.
The two were facing up to 20 years in a Greek prison. The next day, a petition began in an attempt to free the pair. Bohemia Interactive urged fans to sign the petition and help bring the boys home. "We've been gratified at the interest you have shown in our games, and especially the attention garnered by the recent DayZ phenomenon. What I would like to do is make you aware, if you're not already, of a community-created support website for Ivan Buchta and Martin Pezlar, helpivanmartin.org. The website contains information about their arrest, links to news reports, and an ongoing petition to raise voices in protest at the arrest and charges. 68 days later, it emerged that Martin and Ivan were denied bail and must await trial locked in prison. They will only be allowed one more chance at an appeal." The pair's parents told a Czech news site that they had been in contact with their sons. "Our boys no longer tell us on the phone that it's alright, that they're handling it," one of the mothers said. "After the court's decision, we only hear from them something that no parent ever wants to hear. Mom, Dad, please save us. They are in a cell with over 25 people. They sleep on the ground," Buchta's father said. "They have food twice a day. They have to buy toiletries on their own." Both families pleaded to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but had become unhappy with the effort the ministry had made so far. The ministry argued that they'd been working to the best of their abilities. The council has been to the Greek Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She is in contact with the Ministry of Defense. Yana Renzova, head director of the Justice section in the ministry, said, "We're doing everything we can to help the two gentlemen." This led to the President of the Czech Republic to step in, writing to the Greek President to appeal for special attention to the case. The letter read as follows. I would like to address the matter of 2 Czech citizens who were arrested in Greece and charged with espionage. This case is very sensitive to the Czech public, and also to me as President of the Republic. The fate of our citizens anywhere in the world matters to us. I have no doubt that the democratic Greek authorities, police, prosecutors and the courts will consider this unfortunate matter impartially and independently, even I do not in any way want to interfere with their work. I want to ask you, Mr. President, to follow this unfortunate affair with special attention, considering the excellent relations between our nations, so this does not throw unnecessary shade onto our relationship. Once again, I want to assure you that I have the utmost certainty that our accused citizens will be given all the rights in the search for justice by the Greek authorities. On the 15th of January 2013, the pair were released on bail for €5,000 each. Once the funds had been deposited, the two were free to leave Greece on the condition they returned to the island to face trial when the time came. On the 8th of February, Ivan spoke to the gaming website Polygon.com regarding his 129 days spent in prison. We were certainly not doing any scouting job. The environment of Limnos was practically done by the time we left. Our artists won't be happy if we would suddenly start adding to the plans, and in fact, we both needed a break as the summer of 2012 was rather busy for us. We went just to a holiday, on which we planned to enjoy the beauty of the island, which has been a source of inspiration for more than 2 years. Taste some Greek food and wine, which both was really good, and swim a bit. Prior to their arrest on September 9th, Buchta and Pezlar planned a day of relaxation. Their previous days in Greece were spent exploring the island and travelling to distant points of interest. Sunday would be calmer by comparison, with less exploring and more swimming. It was around noon, just meters from where they stayed, when Buchta and Pezlar were stopped by the police patrol. What followed now resembles a bad movie. After the check of documents, we were brought to the police station, where the officers started to be interested in our cameras and notebooks. Several men in civilian clothing appeared, going through all our photos and talking about the possible danger we posed to the Greek national security. We did our best to explain ourselves and cooperate on clearing the misunderstanding. It was after a few hours spent talking with the officers in the police station's front office that Buchta said, "We started to realise that things were rather serious. We were in touch with consulate. They confirmed it's rather bad. Around 11 PM, we were told we were arrested because we were suspected of espionage. Our phones and belts were confiscated, and we were locked up in a cell at the police station. I recall being rather stunned after the long day, but we simply dropped to the mats and fell asleep. We certainly did not expect that thing to go as far as us being accused of espionage, and when this happened, we were confident we would be able to explain our activities by the enthusiasm of the people who really do like Lemnos. Neither Ivan nor Martin had anything to hide," he explained. And despite allegations of photographing military installments on the island, the two men definitely did not deliberately focus on these objects. Buchta's notebook computer contained tens or hundreds of pictures taken during their holiday, 7 of which were regarded by the Greek authorities as problematic. Therefore, we hoped for a quick resolve after our explanation at the hearing before the investigator. However, they remained in prison for 129 days, before their eventual release on bail. But in the months prior to their release, it was the prisoners who posed the biggest problem, not the prison. Prison is designed to be unpleasant and restraining, but the two were treated with respect by the police and guard officers. Of course, the real problem in the prison are the inmates, not the guards. We were fortunate to not experience any form of violence. The prison in which we were was rather small and safe, with illegal workers, drug trafficking, frauds, and similar non-violent cases. Still, the selfishness is the norm there, and newbies are target of scrounging, until we learned about the rules and relationships, which took about a month. I was a bit scared by this environment. They were informed by their lawyer of the repercussions of imprisonment for espionage. If convicted, the two faced up to 20 years in jail. A mere 5-year sentence was the brighter prospect. It is easy to feel forgotten in prison, especially after being categorically accused of such a serious crime in the middle of your holidays. The two were never separated. It was important, as Martin was the only person nearby whom I could trust. I did my best to provide the same certainty to him. Of course we had rather expensive chances to call home, regular but sparse phone calls with the consul, and we were writing letters, but have a close friend in such a place was invaluable. Letters sent through the website helpivanmartin.org provided another moral boost. I am afraid I cannot fully express how exactly I felt when we first heard from the outside world, but it was great to see how many people supported us. As far as I know, the investigation should be closed at some point, and date of the court hearing should be established after that. I have no idea when this happens and what would be the further development. Although it certainly won't be pleasant to go there, we will respect all the decisions of the Greek justice. We have nothing to hide. I hope the truth will come out and the court will dismiss the charge of espionage. So it looks like our boys finally came home. But remember, it was just bail. They still had to go on trial. And on the 15th of May 2017, the two were found guilty of international espionage and sentenced to 2.5 years each in prison. Now this would be a suspended sentence, which means that they wouldn't actually have to spend any more time in jail. They wouldn't be able to take any more photos of military facilities in Greece though, which is a shame. And that's the full story, and what a wild one it is too, and you have to feel for them, spending 129 days in a Greek prison and end up with a criminal record. At least they have a criminal record for something cool like espionage, and not like all the rest of the lame crimes. Except for tax fraud, which we all know is really sick and cool. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. I really appreciate it. This actually took a lot of effort, and I know that I have said I was going to upload a video soon, and it just didn't happen. Real life gets in the way a lot with me, and some updates on work and stuff, and you know, a bunch of other real life things kind of caused me to put the kibosh on this for a bit, but it never stopped me kind of thinking about it. And to everyone who subscribed recently and are watching the videos and are still watching my videos, thank you so much. It means the world, it really does. But it's now 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just finished doing the voiceover. I need to go to sleep, and hopefully I'll have another video for you soon. So stay tuned, check it out. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover, and yeah, I love you. Say it back.